Hello there, Atheist Junior here. Excuse me. Let's try that again. Hello there, Atheist Junior here, your friend and humble narrator, and I'm coming to you guys with a sort of impromptu stream. I was tagged in the description of this video by Taylor, who's a young Earth creationist. This might be kind of weird. She's like 15, I think. But hey, you know, she wants to engage in the YouTube debate, marketplace of ideas. I'll be nice. All right, let's get started. Let me bring up this video. It's debunking 5 misconceptions about evolution. So this video might, well, I won't say anything. Let's just go.
Hello, friends. Today, in your favorite talking monkey, Beans, and I will be going through and debunking the best evidences for evolution according to this website, talkorigins.org. So let's get started. So first thing, when we head over to the website and check out the site map link, there are lots of different areas to explore. Oh, and by the way, Dr. Hovind, they reference you a lot on this website, so congratulations on that. The first thing I want to talk about is the what is the creationism link, which of course an evolutionist website is going to call creationism to make it sound more stupid, but that's okay. So let's see what they have to say. Okay, so the first problem is that they try to combine flat earthers and geocentrists with creationists. I think they try to do this to lump us together to make creationists look dumb. So let me be really clear about something. The earth is round and it revolves around the sun. That is clear science because it's observable, testable, and demonstrable. There isn't some massive conspiracy out there trying to conceal the real shape of the earth, nor does the Bible teach either theory. So please stop.
The irony, like, it's so ironic that creationists like Kent Hovind say this, because you could just sub out the words evolution theory for flat earth. And like, there's no conspiracy against younger creationists getting published in scientific journals. There's no conspiracy to fire teachers who don't want to teach the flaws in the theory of evolution. Like, evolution theory is also demonstrable. That's how it's pronounced, by the way, just so you know. Observable science. We can observe it on human timescales, but we can also observe the effects of it. And I don't know how, like, you can argue that, you know, oh, don't call me a flat earther, but the earth is definitely 6,000 years old. One of these is science and one of these is pseudoscience. This is why you get lumped in with these people. I don't think that you should just assume that somebody's a flat earther because they're a young earth creationist, but the motivations are exactly the same. Talk to any flat earther and they're going to probably be somebody who is going to cite Bible verses. They're going to cite the same justifications that young earthers do for a young earth as a flat earth. Sorry, if you don't want to get lumped in these people, maybe take a look at your own beliefs.
Stop saying that it does. This is bad for Christianity because it tries to make us look like science deniers that don't know what we're talking about.
Well, you fit.
I mean, please, there are people out there like astronauts who have gone into space and taken photographs. But we all know that the earth is round like a big ball.
Yeah, and there are geologists who have radiometrically dated rocks to show that the earth is billions of years old. You know, there are lots of ways to tell that the earth is older than 6,000 years. There are cosmologists who can look through telescopes and literally see light from a long time ago. We have light from stars that is, you know, more than 6,000 light years away. That right there shows that it would take longer than 6,000 years for that light to reach us. We can see the cosmic microwave background radiation, the afterglow of the Big Bang, to know that the Big Bang happened and that it happened a long time ago. People have gone into space and put telescopes in space to observe these things. So it's just ironic, the arguments.
Right, Taylor?
Yes. Moving on from there, they do a pretty good job at explaining the different creation positions listed here, and where you can find more information about these positions and the groups that supported them. This is one I've never heard of before called Omphaloos. I think that's what it's
Oh,
called.
that's a big word.
Yeah,
That's a
but it's
lot
up
of
here.
letters, too, I'm sure.
This is what it claims. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, let's dive into the next part, which is the 5 major misconceptions about evolution. So the author of this website claims that creationists are winning the origins argument against evolutionists because creationists, quote, don't address evolution, but rather
Omphalos, it was like a belief of the ancient Greeks that one of their gods, Delphi, was at the center of the earth or the center of the universe, something like that.
argue against a set of misunderstandings that people are right to consider ludicrous.
Like crazy, right? Like crazy?
Yes,
I-
exactly. Ludicrous.
I know a few big words, and that's one of them. Sometimes it's just ludicrous that you eat watermelons.
Hey, we're not talking about that right now.
All right. Anyway, continue on.
Okay, so let's see what some of these
Ludicrous, you're the one to please. Young Hoven fill cups like double D's.
major misconceptions are. First, they say evolution has never been observed. Then the author gives an example of evolution with the quote, insects developing a resistance to pesticides over the period of a few years. Even most creationists recognize that evolution at this point is a fact. Right. So they're trying to say that because a bug species might become resistant to pesticides through natural selection. That means that a goldfish and groundhog share a common ancestor, that we evolved from a rock and some rain billions of years ago.
No, this is a non sequitur. So your premise here doesn't naturally follow from your conclusion doesn't follow from your premises here. This is just a total straw man that you're just lifting from Dr. Kent Hovind, who's not a doctor. Hate to break it to you, Taylor, but he's not. Get a better role model. Insects develop resistance because of mutations. Mutations are selected for, and eventually, because of those resistances, you're going to have more of them survive. That's natural selection. That's evolution. Descent with modification. Mutations are random errors in the replication of DNA. So when you have a new generation of insects, there's going to be random mutations in their nucleotide sequence. Some of these are going to result in mutations that might be beneficial, i.e., they develop a resistance to the pesticide. And over time, you're going to see more of these bugs survive, and they're going to be selected for because of those beneficial mutations. That right there is a perfect example of evolution observable in a human timescale. All this other stuff you're saying is just things you're tacking on to say, hey, this doesn't prove like that this thing is true. But what you're doing is, instead of going A proves B proves C, you're saying, hey, A doesn't prove X, Y, and Z. Well, nobody said it did, but there are good reasons that we can cite for why common ancestry is true, and that can be proven. But that's a different argument. So it's disingenuous to try and say, well, because insects developing mutations doesn't prove that these two species are related, that invalidates evolution. That's a dishonest argument. Get a better role model, get a better argument, get a better just everything.
Oh my goodness! That must have been some rainstorm. It's raining, people. Oh my goodness, I'd be so scared.
Yeah, I fully acknowledge that this video is super obnoxious. So if anybody wants to duck out, I won't even be mad.
And if it started raining people, I'd be like, look out! My goodness, there's another one. That's crazy talk. That's so crazy.
That's quite a leap, talkorigins.org. Yes, creationists do recognize that bugs become resistant to certain pesticides over the years. We recognize that because that is real science. It's observable, testable, and demonstrable.
Demonstratable, like you can demonstrate it.
The process of a bug becoming resistant to pesticide doesn't answer the question of how all the massive changes come about for a single-celled creature to produce all the life we see today. Plus,
It doesn't have to. Nobody said that it has to. Why is this the qualifier? Why does it have to prove that? That's just ridiculous to try and say that that invalidates this example. You know what I mean? There are ways to prove common ancestry, and it's the genetics. For example, this family trees that are assembled by phylogenists and taxonomists and scientists, evolutionary biologists, they assemble them by hand, but they're so huge. The tree of life is so massive that you have to have help from like data analysts, like computer programs. You can feed the same data into a program on a computer and it'll spit out a family tree that's the same as if it was assembled by hand because of the genetic data. So you throw out all the biases of somebody who's an evolutionist assembling a tree of life. The data speaks for itself.
Natural selection does not account for all the new information needed for this to happen. It only selects traits that are already in existence, such as pesticide resistant, and those traits get passed down to future bug generations.
I think Chris Jones might be controlling the monkey. I'm not sure. It might be. It's probably Lupin, to be honest. It is probably Lupin.
It doesn't turn the bug into a hippopotamus, no matter how many years you give it.
No.
My goodness gracious. That's crazy. Why do they always keep thinking that little things turn into big things? Like rocks turn into people, bugs turn into hippos.
I know, and it's crazy because there's no evidence for it.
There's nothing. I've never seen that, ever.
Taylor, did you start off as a single cell, as a zygote, when you were in your mother's womb, like 2 months ago? Yeah, you did. You were really small back then. So was I. So was every person watching this video. You were a zygote. You were made up of 2 or less cells, and you divided and divided again and again and again. And then you eventually you have all of the trillions of cells that you have now. But you started off really small and became something that's big. That's what happens. And you can even see this in non-living examples like crystal formation. Crystals start small and through natural processes become bigger. Same thing with snowflakes and water crystals. So same thing with a snowball rolling down a hill. You know what I mean? It's not just living things. This is the natural process of things. Things tend to get bigger. You know what I mean? Breeds of dogs.
No one has.
I've been around a lot of places. I'm a monkey. I travel.
Yeah, to Jamaica. No,
Yeah, I love
nothing.
it. I've been around, but I've never seen that ever. I see a bug here. It's a bug. I see a bug there.
A hippopotamus.
It's a bug. Right.
Additionally, the third paragraph down, the author explicitly says, quote, even without these direct observations, meaning that evolution is true even if we don't see it. All we have to do is imagine it, which is 100% not science.
So that's not what it was saying. What it's saying is that even if you can't directly observe something, we can observe the effects of it. And we can say, this is what we would expect to see if evolution is true. Let's make predictions that we would expect to see something if evolution was true. And those things come to pass. Predictions about evolution. Sorry, I'm just trying to rewind this. Okay, even without direct observation, it would be wrong to say that evolution hasn't been observed.
The author explicitly says, quote, even without these direct
Okay, evidence isn't limited to seeing something happen before your eyes. Evolution makes predictions about what we would expect to see in the fossil record, comparative anatomy, genetic sequences, geographical distribution of species, etc. And these predictions have been verified many times over. The number of observations supporting evolution is overwhelming. So you're kind of misrepresenting what it's saying here. It's not saying that we don't have to see evolution happen, so we just imagine it. But that's a misrepresentation. It's saying that we do have direct observation, which they just gave an example of. And in addition to that, even if we didn't have that, because evolution on a scale of macroevolution or over the longest time periods, which is what creationists doubt the most, we can still make predictions about what we'd expect to see. And we can look back in the fossil record and see examples of that change happening. Same thing with the anatomy of living organisms now and comparative anatomy, comparing organisms today and comparing organisms today versus their ancient ancestors, like whales, cetaceans versus fossils of Pakicetus and the land-dwelling artiodactyl, four-legged ancestors of whales. We can see things like the migration of the nasal passages. I mean, just look at Tiktaalik. Compare humans and the things that we have to Tiktaalik, or humans to ancient apes like Lucy, the comparative anatomy, and the transition between ancient ape fossils, older than Lucy, older than the Australopithecines, Lucy as a mid transition point, and modern humans. And you can see that every aspect of her skeleton is transitional. Every aspect of Tiktaalik's anatomy is transitional between ancient Sarcopterygian fish and modern tetrapods. The distribution of species and genetics, all of this stuff is true, but you didn't even read any of it. You just flashed it on the screen. So you're taking after Hovind a little bit too much, Taylor.
Direct observations, meaning that evolution is true even if we don't see it. All we have to do is imagine it, which is 100% not science.
Whew. Let me close my eyes. I would like to imagine that I am surrounded by a bunch of banana trees, where the bananas are just falling into my lap. Let me open my eyes. Oh,
It's not there,
it's
babe.
not there! What do you mean I imagined it? It's not there. This is
I'm imagining Kent Hovind's doctorate degrees. I'm imagining on my 4 PhDs. I've got 3 earned and 1 honorary. One I got off the Denny's placemat because I solved the maze, and I got free fries.
this is crazy.
It's crazy
No,
talk.
the degrees aren't there. The degrees aren't there because Patriot Bible College does not even offer a PhD program. It offers a like doctorate of ministry, which is not the same thing. It's not a PhD. And Kent has said that he has 3 other doctorates, but where are the dissertations for those degrees? Because a dissertation for a PhD is supposed to be public record so everybody can read it. But these other 3, there's no dissertation to be found online. And the dissertation he has presented for his Patriot Bible College degree is something that a 4th grader would get a failing grade on for an essay. It's garbage. It would get rejected based on the first sentence. Hi, hello, my name is Kent Hovind. My name is Kent Hovind. I wrote this essay in crayon. I would like a doctor's degree. Please give it to me, or else I will body slam you. Huh, Hovind?
Talk.
Look with your eyes. I see Taylor. She is there. She is real.
Hello.
Hello, Taylor.
I am not a whatever it's called. So
Hovengram. A Hovengram. You didn't tell whoever's operating the monkey to stop stealing the show, because you're kind of hogging the spotlight here.
I think that we have efficiently debunked the argument. No misconception here. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the second misconception is that evolution violates the second law of thermodynamics. The second law of thermodynamics basically just says that over time,
I'm trying. I don't want to be mean, but like thermodynamics. Come on, Taylor. You got to get that right. Come on.
things will become more chaotic and disorganized. This is also evidence that the universe cannot be eternal, because if it were, we would already reached our maximum state of disorganization.
No, I mean, that's not really what entropy is. Entropy is just the idea that heat energy only is going to flow in one direction. Like if you have hot coffee and you stir in some milk, the heat is only going to dissipate out of that glass, out of the mug, into the air surrounding it. You're never going to get that heat to go back into the drink. If you knock that mug off of the table and it crashes onto the ground and shatters, you're never going to see time reverse and the mug assemble itself back on the table. I mean, we've never seen entropy reverse itself in that way. You might see it happen on small, insignificant scales, but entropy is just flowing in one direction. That's why we have the direction of time that we have. But I don't think that proves that the universe is not eternal. And I don't see the relevance to biological evolution either.
We know that this isn't correct because we can directly observe organization within our solar system and galaxy. A simplified version of this argument is basically this. The second law of thermodynamics says things get worse over time. The theory of evolution says things get better over time. The law and theory are in conflict with each other, and both cannot be true. The argument Talk Origins puts forth doesn't support macroevolution at all. It is basically saying that animals giving birth to the next generation of animals may have small changes such as shorter or longer limbs, or maybe different color fur.
You can stir your coffee as fast as you want, but you're not getting the original heat back in there, are you? Try again.
Changes do not and never will result in one animal giving birth to a completely different type of animal.
That's not what evolution says. Holy crap, this annoys me so much. This is what Ken Hovind says that he's not arguing. But is this not a perfect example? Evolution does not say that would happen. It's not what we would expect because of monophyly and because that's just ridiculous.
For example, beans.
That's me.
Beans, you are a gibbon monkey. And
I
gibbon
am.
monkeys.
I am a gibbon monkey. I'm also a giving monkey.
Giving.
Because I like to give hugs. Oh, I love you, Taylor.
Yeah, you probably read The Giving Tree and misunderstood the point of that book.
And speaking of gibbon monkeys, they will never give birth to a non-gibbon monkey. It doesn't matter how many generations there are. Since evolutionists want to talk about the laws of thermodynamics, let's talk about the first law, which states that energy cannot be created or destroyed. So I have a question for any evolutionist.
Okay, so then how did God create the universe then? Oh, he gets to break the rules. It's different when God does it. Okay.
Watching. Where did all that energy come from in the first place? How did it originally get created?
I don't know.
So
don't know. Maybe the singularity of the Big Bang, maybe the energy was eternal. Maybe it came from a fourth dimensional manifold of the multiverse. Maybe it came from the quantum gravity of a quantum foam and fluctuations of virtual particles. I don't know. What is the relevance to biological evolution, though? This is just moving the goalposts.
The third misconception about evolution listed on the website states that there are no transitional fossils, which isn't a misconception and is a true statement. There aren't any kind of transitional fossils because plants and animals always reproduce after their own kind. Chickens produce chickens every single time. And farmers all around the world rely on that fact every day.
Farmers understand evolution. Farmers use natural selection, artificial selection. They use artificial selection to get new breeds and new crops all the time. Like, farmers are the last people who would deny that evolution is true because they literally rely on it to make their income. This argument about farmers is so dumb.
A common belief held among evolutionists is that whales evolved from cows. I know. Crazy, right?
What? Are you kidding me? That is bananas. Or like you said earlier, ludicrous. That is ludicrous. Sometimes you can say bananas, and that means crazy too. But I use bananas because I like to eat them. But back to this crazy idea. So you're telling me that people think that cows that eat grass become whales that eat fish?
Yeah, because a lot of people believe this. The problem they have is we have cows and we have whales, but we don't have any species in between. We don't even have any fossils or species in between, yet evolutionists still go on believing it. The website goes on.
Gibbons, they don't just eat fruit. They'll actually they'll catch birds out of the air and eat them. Like they eat insects. Like they will pretty much eat anything. Yeah. That monkey might seem cute, but just imagine it snatching a bird out of mid-flight and just devouring it whole while it's still alive. Yeah.
On to list many rescue devices or possible reasons why there aren't many transitional fossils in existence, like erosion, rarity of favorable conditions, and small populations. The author says that there are thousands of transitional fossils discovered, but that clearly isn't enough. There are billions of animals on the earth, and finding a couple thousand that you can't really easily place doesn't provide any evidence for anything. They probably aren't even transitional fossils. Plus, finding a fossil doesn't prove anything other than an animal died. You can't.
Okay, slow down. You're gish galloping. You are a transitional fossil. Basically, every fossil can be classified as transitional, but we have examples of transitional fossils like Archaeopteryx, Lucy, and Tiktaalik, just to name a few. And Archaeopteryx was a prediction made by Darwin that we'd find a bird or dinosaur fossil with unfused wing fingers, and 2 years later they found it. It's a prediction that was verified not only by evolution but by the Mac Daddy of evolution himself, C Money Darwin, Charlie Darwin, Charlie Darwin. I forgot what she said.
Can't prove that I had any offspring.
Oh yeah, fossils. Fossils. It just proves that they died. It also proves that they lived. We can learn about their anatomy. We can learn where they died and what layer they died in, how they died. You can learn a lot more about a fossil than just the fact that the animal died. Like it's just stop repeating the Hovind thing. Stop repeating the Hovind talking points and like try and develop your own arguments.
Especially offspring that it's different than it is. So bottom line is evolutionists are severely lacking in transitional fossils they need in order to explain how a single-celled organism resulted in a diverse life we see on Earth today. Okay, so moving on to the alleged fourth misconception about evolution is the theory of evolution says that life originated and evolution proceeds by random chance. This portion of the article discusses mutations, natural selection, and even acknowledge that random chance plays a big part in evolution. Okay, so first let's talk about mutations. Do you realize how many beneficial mutations it would take to transform a single-celled organism into, let's say, a giraffe?
Probably a lot. But, you have a lot of chances when you have lots of mutations happening with every new generation and over a time period of billions of years. So, and they don't necessarily have to be beneficial. You don't only get evolution happening by beneficial mutations. Just the fact that an animal gives birth to its offspring, that animal is not a direct clone of its parent because of mutations, which could be harmful or neutral, and most of them are neutral. That's evolution because it's descent with modification. So just based on the fact that the offspring is different than its parent because of those mutations, they don't have to be beneficial for it to count as evolution. That's still microevolution, but it still counts.
Also, can any of you provide an example of a beneficial mutation? All mutations ever observed have been harmful, fatal, or neutral.
Wrong. Denser bones. The sickle cell trait that gives you a resistance to malaria. Being able to breathe at higher altitudes. Being able to hold your breath longer for having bigger lungs. Resistance to HIV. There's a ton of them I could name. Like, just Google it. I'll Google it right now. resistance to HIV. Let me see. Lactose tolerance, bone density, resistance to diabetes, resistance to malaria, HIV, resistance to heart disease from the apoprotein A Milano mutation. That's a well-known one. So they have resistance to, they have a mutation that leads to more efficient clearing of cholesterol from the blood, reducing the risk of cardiovascular disease. And in animals, you have mutations that give greater fertility and higher numbers of progeny. Bacteria resistance with resistance to pesticides, like we mentioned earlier, antibiotic resistance for bacteria. Fish have developed antifreeze proteins from mutations so they can live in extremely cold climates. There are tons of examples of these. Let me see if I can find some more. Feel free to contribute some, chat. Better vision. Amygdalin in almonds is apparently a mutation. Altitude tolerance. Super sleeplessness? What? What does that mean? Okay, I need to look this up. Pain tolerance. Most adults require 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night to be fully rested the next morning. However, in 2009, a journal was published in which scientists identified the first genetic mutation that relates to sleep duration in any species. After conducting genetic tests on sleep test participants, researchers discovered a mother and daughter who share an abnormal copy of a gene which affects a circadian rhythm. The result is that they require far less sleep than the average person. I think I have this one. Super pain tolerance, flexibility, dense bones. I mentioned that one. Super sexy eyelashes, fuller eyelashes, super strength and immunity. Yeah, sickle cell anemia. So there you go. I think I gave like 15 examples in your face.
But where's this new information coming from to produce a new feature? For example, how is an organism without eyes getting the new information to produce eyes? If anyone has a good theory for that, I would love to hear it. Here's another example of mutations. If I was going to take a fully written book and say about The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
I love that book. That is a good one.
And I was just going to start changing random words and letters around. How often do you think those random changes would result in a better story? How many changes would it take for the story to be no longer readable? That's kind of how mutations work. They don't help or add any new information.
Goodness gracious.
Yes, they do, because it doesn't have to be readable text. It's just the fact that a change has happened. So every time a change happens in a letter, a C to a T or a C to an A, CATG, any of those changing, that's new information. That's all.
Gracious, if you took all those words and changed them around, you wouldn't have the story anymore. It'd
I
be
know.
so different. And then it wouldn't be one of the best books ever.
This Beans likes that book.
I do. I
It's overrated.
like it a lot.
Okay, so moving on to natural selection. We already talked about natural selection in the first list of misconceptions, so I won't go over all that again. But I will say that the examples listed for natural selection all result in microevolution, which isn't a problem for creation. Microevolution is good science because it's observable and repeatable. The problem for evolutionists is that natural selection doesn't provide any new information. It only selects from existing information. So the problem of where does the information come from still isn't solved. All right, so let's look at the last misconception listed here for today, which is evolution is only a theory. It hasn't been proven. Okay, lots of issues with this misconception. The listed definition of evolution is a change in allele frequencies over time. Sure, by that definition, evolution is an absolute fact. That's clearly observable. But we all know that's not what they mean by evolution. In fact, if we want to look at pure atheistic evolution, we can't start with living material. We have to go all the way back to the Big Bang, which is cosmic evolution. From there, it's chemical evolution, cellular evolution, organic evolution, then macroevolution. Every one of these steps has massive problems within the theory and major
Like Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is really just a Christian allegory, and his other books are better. Just saying.
unexplainable gaps that are unanswerable. I made a video previously discussing all the issues with each one of these steps, so I won't rehash them again here. I'll post a link to the description, but if you want to talk about the changes in allele frequency and microevolution, then yes, that is a fact. This clearly isn't a misconception either. I would even call evolution a theory. It's basically just a hypothesis.
No.
Hypothesis.
Wrong.
So the concluding paragraph.
It's no, it is a theory. Scientific theory is made up of a body of facts, and it is a fact. There's a fact of evolution, that evolution happens. Your misconceptions are like everything that you said in this video. I'm sorry, but like you're getting a lot of stuff wrong, Taylor.
Of this article basically just appeals to authority by saying lots of people with science background believe in evolution, so you should too.
Wait. You're telling me that if Bill down the street tells me that I should believe in this, that I should? What? That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
I can use my monkey brain.
And you know the truth, and that's not accurate.
That's right. I do know the truth, and that's not so right. You got to use your brain. You got to think.
Beans is a monkey.
I am a monkey.
Okay, take this example, but just change the guy's name to Kent Hovind. Don't believe something just because Kent Hovind said it. Because he's a liar. He's a liar.
It's a very small brain.
Hey, but it can still think just fine.
Yeah.
It's not as small as a woman's brain.
Mostly about bananas, but it can still think.
Bananas are always on your mind.
I know. Can I have one? I'm going to be hungry.
I think we have to go to the store and buy more, but
Okay,
we can see.
Sorry,
We
read the grass. Go ahead.
We all know that appealing to authority is a bad argument because it's logically facility.
A fallacy, right? It's a fallacy, not a facility.
Okay,
But
yeah,
facilities may have
yeah.
bananas. I would like to go to a facility that has bananas.
We can just cut that. Okay, so after going through all these alleged misconceptions about
Why are you laughing? What's happening? What's going on here?
why
Oh, I'm doing the splits because you like to do gymnastics too.
means I think we forgot that this was on a gymnastics video.
Oh, sorry. Oh, help me with my little feet. All right.
Okay. I would say that none of them are misconceptions, and they are all true. If you feel differently, please leave a comment and let me know why.
You have comments turned off on this video, Taylor.
As I always said, if you still believe you evolved from a rock and some rain that exploded 13.8 billion years ago, please let me know why, and I can try to help you.
Yeah, me too. I can try to help as well.
Yes, even
I've
with
learned
me.
a lot from you, Taylor. You're very good.
Thank you. Even with Bean's monkey brain.
Hey, it's a pretty good brain.
Yeah,
Well,
be smarter
you know.
than some others.
Anyway, what do you say?
So yeah. So well. Anyways, thank you for watching. I can't really jump. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment what you want to see next. And remember to question everything, even why I forgot some of my outro and why Beans was doing the middle splits.
I can't, dude. Like, I can't. Oh. That was painful. That was really painful. Please don't tag me in any more videos, Taylor. Please, like, you seem like a nice girl. Everything you said here was inaccurate. I'm trying to be nice, but like, you really need to try and look. I want to give you some serious advice here. I respect what you're trying to do here. You know what I mean? Like, I respect the fact that you have an opinion and you want to share it on YouTube and you're making the effort. I think that's good. I think YouTube is for everybody. And I think that, you should do that. But I think you need to take some time and even if it's just looking up a different creationist organization, like look past Kent Hovind, go to Answers in Genesis, go to or go to some different Christian like ministries, and just at least increase your outlook, because you're getting all of your information from Kent Hovind, and the guy doesn't know what he's talking about, and it's reflecting badly on you. Like, his arguments are not good, and I don't really see the point of making a YouTube channel where, I would like to hear what your opinions are. Don't just repeat what he's saying, because anybody can do that. Like, you seem like a talented person. I've seen like your gymnastic videos that have like 45-year-old guys posting weird comments talking about how, like, hey, can you wear nail polish in the next video? Like, that's a little bit weird. Your parents should probably be concerned about that. Maybe don't make those videos anymore, or like, I don't know, maybe definitely keep your comments turned off if you're going to keep making those videos, because that's weird. But I don't think you should stop making videos. I'm not going to try and, like, say you should give up on this. I'd like to see you expand your outlook a little bit. Just try and do that. That would be my advice. You know what I mean? At least expand who you're getting your information from to somebody other than Kent, because he's an idiot and he's making you look like an idiot. But okay, that was difficult. Yeah, we have Jim Bob in the comments. Well, hey, I tried. You know what I mean? She tagged me in the description of the video. The comments are turned off. I was just gonna leave a comment. You know what I mean? And hey, if you want some advice on like your audio or whatever, your production, you can email me, Taylor. I'll put my email in the comment section if you see this video, and I'd be happy to help you out with that stuff. I'm a nice guy. See? Okay. Like the video, guys. I know this was kind of a weird one, but I felt compelled as a mentor and a role model. I'm the adult in this situation. You should respect your elders, Taylor. You know what I mean? That was cringy. It was really cringy. I'm sorry. It was really bad. But hey, I see potential. I'm not going to give up on this person. So maybe try again, and I'll respond to that video, and we'll see if you do any better. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far, like, I respect that. I salute you. Right? Just if you actually made it this far, leave a comment and leave the number 69 in your comment, so I'll know that you actually made it through this whole video. All right. See you guys later.